It began as a farm tractor and evolved into the most lethal ground predator ever created. Today, we're tracking the complete evolution of American armor across every single era of warfare, from crude steel boxes to digital battlefield gods. This is the full story of U.S. tanks. We start in World War I with the strange beginnings. The CLB-75, an early interwar experiment, was essentially a tractor wrapped in steel. It didn't look like a weapon, more like a moving shipping container, but it represented America's first steps into armored warfare. Then came the whole gas-electric tank, America's first true tank attempt, a gas-electric hybrid decades ahead of its time. Unfortunately, it was heavy, unreliable, and hopelessly outmatched by the mud and chaos of trench warfare. Next, the infamous skeleton tank. This bizarre machine was mostly empty space. Engineers used iron pipes to form a massive frame, hoping it could glide over wide trenches without sinking. It looked insane, and it kind of was. The Ford 3-ton M1918 followed. Think of it as the Model T of tanks, small, cheap, and designed to be mass-produced in swarms. The war ended before it ever got the chance. Then came the M1917 light tank series, essentially a licensed copy of France's Renault FT. Despite its humble origins, it became the backbone of early U.S. armored forces and served faithfully for years after the war. The massive Mark 8 Liberty was a joint British-American project, long enough to cross enormous trenches, but so large and complex that moving it was a logistical nightmare. The M19-1 medium tank marked a turning point. It introduced a fully rotating turret, a design feature that would define tanks for the next century. Its successor, the M19-2, experimented with a complex cable-based suspension. The ride was smoother, but maintenance became a disaster. Next came the T1 light tank series, a set of 1920s test beds exploring speed and mobility. They were fast, but lightly armored and not combat-ready. The T1 Christie M1919, designed by the legendary Walter Christie, could run on tracks or wheels. Blisteringly fast on roads, but far too unconventional for conservative military planners. The T2 medium tank tried to cram heavy guns and machine guns into a boxy chassis. It ended up overweight and underpowered. In 1931, Christie struck gold. Again, his suspension allowed tanks to literally fly over rough terrain at unheard-of speeds, reshaping future tank design worldwide. The M1 light tank series, officially called combat cars to dodge legal restrictions, focused on speed and reconnaissance rather than brute force. Then the M2 light tank series, ancestor of the famous Stuart. Early models featured multiple turrets, like a battleship, before settling into a practical layout. The T for medium tank borrowed Christie's suspension, but struggled badly in mud. The T7 combat car chased extreme speed on wheels, fast on roads, useless everywhere else. The M2 medium tank series bristled with machine guns in every direction. It wasn't great in combat, but it taught vital design lessons. The Marmon Harrington CTLS series. Small export tanks were cheap, simple, and built fast during wartime panic. Now we enter World War II. The M3 Stuart series, beloved for speed and reliability, earned the nickname Honey from British crews and excelled at scouting. The odd MTLS-1G14 mounted to cannons in one turret. Originally for the Dutch, it mostly became a training oddity. The CTMS tried to punch above its weight, but never found a real role. The tall, awkward M3 Lee and Grant mounted its main gun in the hull, instead of the turret, ugly, but desperately powerful when Allies needed it. Then came the legend, the M for Sherman. Not the strongest or toughest, but unmatched in reliability, repairability, and sheer numbers. It won wars by showing up everywhere. The M6 heavy tank was America's first true heavy tank. Massive, well-armed, and too heavy for most bridges. The T7 M7 series grew from a light tank into a medium one and was cancelled for being redundant. The T20, T22, and T3 series experimented with lower profiles and advanced transmissions, paving the way for modern designs. The upgraded M5 Stuart with twin Cadillac engines. Stayed relevant long after lighter tanks were obsolete. The tiny M20 to Locust, designed to fit inside gliders, supported paratroopers but suffered from paper-thin armor. The T-14 heavy tank, a joint British-American assault design, was abandoned in favor of mobility. The M20 for Chaffee was a massive leap forward, fast, smooth, and armed with a 75mm gun that made it deadly and versatile. The M26 Pershing finally gave U.S. forces a tank capable of fighting German Tigers head-on. The experimental Super Pershing pushed firepower to the limit, causing severe balance issues. The monstrous T-28, T-95, more bunker than tank, crawled forward on 4 tracks. The T-9, T-30, T-32, and T-3 for heavy tanks were designed to destroy King Tigers and fortify positions, shaping Cold War thinking despite never seeing combat. Now into Korea and the Cold War. The M46 Patton, named after General Patton himself, improved the Pershing and dominated the Korean battlefield. The T-41, evolving into the M41 Walker Bulldog, was fast, agile, and beloved by crews worldwide. The T-42 medium tank failed, but its turret lived on in the M47 Patton, a rushed hybrid design. The M48 Patton became the face of the Vietnam era, with its rounded turtle hull. The experimental T-5 for T-69 and T-9 to pushed autoloaders, oscillating turrets, and low-profile designs to their limits. The T-9 5 medium series tested advanced armor and smoothbore guns, feeding into future legends. The M103 heavy tank, America's last heavy tank, wielded a massive 120mm cannon for long-range Soviet tank hunting. The T-57, T-58, and T-110 explored radical heavy tank concepts that proved too complex. Now the late Cold War. The M60 series became the first true U.S. main battle tank, serving for decades. The lightweight M551 Sheridan, aluminum and missile-armed, was powerful and fragile. The futuristic MBT-70 and XM803 promised the future but collapsed under cost and complexity. The M60A, the Starship, looked futuristic but proved unreliable. Then everything changed. The M1 Abrams arrived with turbine power and revolutionary armor, redefining modern warfare. Experimental designs like our DFLT, HIMAG, and Marine expeditionary tanks explored speed and mobility. The Stingray light tank found success overseas. The M1A1 Abrams, armed with a 120mm smoothbore, dominated the Gulf War. The M1A brought the Abrams into the digital battlefield. The M8AGS, LAV-105, TTB, and CATB tested future ideas, unmanned turrets, massive guns, and crew survivability. Projects like XM202, Griffin II, and the M10 Booker aimed to fill modern infantry support gaps. The futuristic Abrams X and M1E3 now point toward the next evolution: lighter, smarter, deadlier, and ready for drone warfare. From tractors to titans, this is the unstoppable evolution of American armor.